Hello, welcome back to the channel. It is Dan, Nocturne Knives. Today I'm coming at you with what I think is going to be a new kind of recurring series thing. It's going to be called So You Want to Sharpen. It's pretty basically, I'll be taking different kind of knives, and today it'll be this large Western chef's knife, and I'll be taking you along through the whole sharpening process and kind of give you an idea, an explanation of different types of knives and what it takes to sharpen these different types of knives, because there's something kind of unique with every knife that you're going to pick up. So I want to kind of help you get a roadmap and get an idea, see examples of sharpening all these different kind of knives so you can feel more comfortable going and doing it yourself. Before we get into it, don't forget to go down, hit that like button, subscribe button if you like sharpening, knife content, stuff like that. I would definitely appreciate it. Check out my last video up there in the top right. And with that said, let's get into it. So the knife we're sharpening today is going to be this Wüsthof Western Chef's knife. The blade is about 8 inches long, give or take, maybe 14 inches overall. So a pretty large chef's knife. This is going to be kind of pretty standard, I think you'll find in most people's kitchen as your large chef's knife. This is from their classic Icon series. It's made of their basic X50 CRMOV 15 steel that I think Wüsthof uses for most things, and most Western chef's knives, German chef's knives, kitchen knives are going to be in the same steel, which is super easy to sharpen, very easy to work with. So this should be pretty representative of what a lot of people are going to have and are going to be sharpening. So let's get into it. First, we want to take a look at the edge and see what we're working with. So this one, it's got a little bit of edge damage. You can see a chip right here, and some minor chips and bumps kind of all along the edge. Definitely up here, some more chipping, and the tip has a little bit of breakage. So just a little bit of repair going on here, but not too much. Really, you could do this on any stone 1K or lower. I'm going to be starting on this silicon carbide 230 grit, which is quite coarse. You don't need something this coarse. This is just what I'm doing. This sharpening for a customer, I want to get through this quickly for efficiency, obviously. So I'm starting on something coarse. If all you have is a 500, 800, 1K, you can totally do it on that stone. You can totally sharpen this knife, even with the chips and everything on that stone. It won't be a huge issue. For the tip, this is actually going to be a really easy tip repair because it's just a tiny little break up there. So all you're going to do, if you have a belt grinder or sander or something, you can just easily and quickly put the tip back on, just grind down from the spine. You can also use your stone, whatever kind of stone you have. A pro tip here is turn your stone on the side and use the side. And basically, you're just going to take your knife, put its spine down, and grind like that. And you're going to grind the spine down until your tip gets pointy again. With tip repairs, you don't want to sharpen. You could sharpen this and just focus a lot on the tip, but that's going to change the curve of the edge and give it a weird curve at the tip. And it's also going to cause the tip to get really thick because you're grinding up into the spine where it's thicker. You come down from the spine to the edge, and it maintains that thinness at the edge. Okay, we've got our tip taken care of. It's back to pointy again. Normally, I would have just popped this on the belt sander and it would take literally a few seconds because that tip imperfection was quite small, but I just wanted to show you the process on a stone and how doable it is. And you want to use the side so you don't gouge up the surface of your stone, the top of it, where you actually want to do your sharpening. Do the side, and you don't have to worry about gouging it or scraping it or anything like that, because digging that tip in will absolutely gouge out most stones. But if you do it on the side, it won't cause any issues. And you can really beat up the side of your stone, and that doesn't matter. So to start it off, got a little bit of water on here. I'm just going to clean off the surface because it's a little grimy. And this stone has been soaking for 15 or 20 minutes. You know, soaking times is going to depend on what stone you have. And some stones you won't even need to soak or anything like that. So my first step, I'm going to Sharpie this edge. And now I'll know where I'm removing material because I got this edge colored black. And I'm going to slap it on the stone. I'm going to feel for that angle. Check out my video about finding your angles and how to maintain those, top right. And take a few strokes. And here you can see most of our Sharpie is removed. So I'm hitting that angle just right. And I think I'm going to take this and drop it slightly lower. So I'm going to find the angle and just drop it down. All right, here's what we're working with. So at the tip, I'm coming in a little shallow. You can see the old bevel here and the new bevel that I'm creating. I'm coming in a little too steep at the tip, so I need to go a little more shallow through there. Rest of the edge is looking pretty good though. You'll see the technique I'm using here. You got your pinch grip with your right hand, 3 fingers on the edge. These provide the pressure. The hand holding it fixes your angle. Check out my video all about grip and that kind of stuff, linked in the top right. That's better. Now we're hitting that angle better. So you can see as I come into this belly section, I'm just raising my elbow slightly to match the belly. So you can see how the belly curves. That's basically how you want to raise and lower your elbow. Just like that. To come around and match the belly up to the tip. Now I'm going to switch hands and I'm going to continue on the other side, make my new bevel, get rid of these chips and everything like that. And I will catch you in just a minute. Okay, we're off the 230. This is what we're looking at. You can actually see, flip it this way. You can see the burr. You can see the burr on there. See it just at the edge, it's catching light, and it's also holding a lot of paper towel lint and strands there. You can see it all along the edge right there. It's that little reflection of light, and I'll see if I can get you to hear it. There, you might actually be able to see the burr. But yeah, you can hear it when I drag my finger, and then nothing on this side. So there's a burr formed. If you have any questions about burrs, burr formation, you can check out my video all about them, linked in the top right. So this is going to be a real simple sharpening today. I'm going to go straight from the SICK Carbide 230 right to my 1K. So let me get that. Got my 1K right here. This is the Suhiro Serax 1K. And your 1K, this is a fine jump to go from like a 230 coarse stone to a 1K is just fine to do, especially with a steel like this. You got something really hard, really wear resistant, you might want an intermediate step like a 500 or a 600, but in this case we can go straight from 230 to 1K and we'll be just fine. So I've done all my bevel setting, I formed a really good burr on the 230. So now on this 1K, I want to remove all those coarse scratches, establish a good scratch pattern, and then I'm going to finish here. Here's what we're looking at. Getting a good scratch pattern. You can see almost all those 230 scratches are gone. Get that in focus. There you go. Yeah, so there you go. We're getting this new scratch pattern established. Going really quick. Looks good. A little more water, and you can see here how I walk my fingers up the blade and work it in different sections. I think that is by far the easiest way. You can do complete strokes down the edge, but especially with a big knife, that's a hassle, and I don't think it's worth it. We're going to work up in sections to get this edge to the 1K level, and then we're going to finish with larger strokes. I'm using moderate pressure here. Don't have to use a lot of pressure. I've got most of the work done already. This is just edge refinement, getting the scratch pattern right. I've got a good scratch pattern here developed. It's nice and consistent. All the 230 scratches are removed. All the chips are gone and everything. So now we're going to move on to the finishing. So for this, I want to take long, even strokes really consistent, and that's what's going to get a really good consistent scratch pattern where all the scratches are going in the same direction, in the same places. So I like to go 3 fingers up near the tip, top third of the blade, hand pinches at the bottom, you find your angle, and you do a nice even stroke heel to tip. Just like that. And we're using light pressure, light to moderate pressure, because we're not really removing material, we're just creating that new and defined scratch pattern. We just want to get our scratches consistent. And you'll want to be careful here about maintaining your angle, because if you start getting off in your angle, it'll show on the edge here. Okay, the scratch pattern is good. Now we're going to finish. So for finishing, I'm going to do a series of just light strokes, maybe 5, all the way up and down, real light pressure, less than the weight of the blade itself. Flip sides, do the same thing. And this is just going to start minimizing the burr. Right now, I'm going to do 2 strokes. I'm going to do 2 sets per side of 2 strokes. Now, a few edge leading strokes. Again, real light pressure, less than the weight of the blade. And these edge leading strokes are going to help to knock off any remaining burr. And I'm doing these at the same angle that I sharpened at. No angle change. Now we're getting to really light pressure, like the lightest pressure you can manage. If you want to see more about building your burr and deburring, which are the 2 biggest mistakes I see people make, is not forming your burr and not deburring. Check that video linked in the top right talking about these 2 mistakes. Okay, I think we have our burr real nice and removed. Now we're going to do some edge trailing strokes. So the edge leading help to knock off the burr. These edge trailing strokes are going to help refine the apex. Again, same angle. Really light pressure. Again, this is the lightest pressure that you can manage. So that is my work on the stone done. We're deburred. I can feel the edge has come up pretty well. I'll test it really quick. So that's how you know that you've done a good job deburring, when you can go straight from the stone to cutting paper, whatever kind of paper you're using. This happens to be phone book paper. Magazine paper is really good. So this is how you know you've done a good job. You can go straight from your stone to cutting phone book paper. You can hear there's just a little bit of roughness, and it's just catching in a couple spots. I can feel them. So I know based on that there's a little bit of micro burr. There's some tiny little micro burr left over, and that's what I'm going to clean up on my strop. So let me get this cleaned up. Before any stropping, you want to clean your blade super well. So this is rubbing alcohol. You could also just wash it with some warm water and some dish soap, whatever. I like to just wipe it off with some rubbing alcohol. So get all that stone residue off because I don't want to contaminate the strop with all that nonsense. To finish this one, I've got this strop leather on wood. I sell these on my website. Go check that link down below. Also my video all about stropping, linked in the top right. Yeah, so this is leather on wood, and this is a 1 micron diamond compound on here. Just want to find my angle, and then some real light strokes because I'm not trying to get rid of all that bite from the 1K. So the 1K, it'll give us a pretty refined edge, but still a decent amount of bite. So we're going to be biting into tomato skins and peppers and stuff like that with ease. So I don't want to take that aggression away with the strop. Just really light pressure and just a few strokes to get rid of any leftover micro burr. And that edge I can feel has come up really well. That's sticky sharp. Let's test our paper now. So that's really sharp. You can see how it just catches immediately. And it glides through really easily. It's nice and quiet. And it's sharp all the way tip down to the heel. Totally sharp. Another good way to test is with some paper towel. This will really tell you if you have any burr left, because a burr will catch immediately in that paper towel. If it glides through cleanly, you know all that burr is gone, and you still have a nice aggressive edge. Because say you stropped too much and you removed all of the bite from the edge, all the grit, it'll just slide over the paper towel. But you have an aggressive edge, it goes through the paper towel, cuts it nice and cleanly. You can see nice clean cuts here. So if you can do that in a paper towel, you have a pretty good edge, and especially if you can go across the grain like that. Easy. Okay, so here is our finished knife. Western chef's knife, sharpened up. This edge came out stupid sharp. It's really nice. It looks good. Nice and consistent. A good scratch pattern. Almost just stabbed my hand there. But yeah, it came out nice. I will be doing more in this series on that blade there. That's just some rubbing alcohol. Let me wipe that off. There we go. Yeah, I will be doing more in this series. If you found it interesting, found this video helpful, don't forget to go down, click that like button, subscribe button. If you like sharpening content, knives, all that kind of stuff, I would definitely appreciate it. If you have any questions, go drop them down in the comment section. Check out my other sharpening videos. I'll have that playlist linked down below. And that's all I got. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.